Hi guys, up in my workroom. It is a pretty disgusting mess at the moment. Part of it is because I've had to move stuff in here because we've had guests, and most of it is because I just don't tidy up between one project and the next. Anyway, down there this boat I bought ages ago. It had a faulty motor. I can't even remember whether I fixed it. I certainly found out what the fault was, but I can't remember whether I actually fixed it or not. It's radio controlled. The receiver in there is a 2.4 gigahertz receiver, but it doesn't speak to any of my transmitters. I was rather hoping I might come across a random transmitter that might speak to it, but I haven't done that yet. So I think what I'm going to have to do is just stick one of my ordinary FlySky receivers in there, like that one that's laying on that car just there. So I think we're going to have to take it apart again because I can't remember how far I got. I think the motor that I've taken apart is inside there somewhere, and we'll have to have a look and see how far I got, because I really cannot remember how far I got with it. Right, well there we are. That's the motor, which you can probably see is half rusted. So, well, we better check that motor again to see how far we got. I think what it was all rusted up, and I actually oiled it, cleaned it out, and it did start going again. I'll put a link into the original video where I took it apart. I did start a little playlist. Right, there's that little receiver board again. TF8 FX415 ZX-2.4G. Does look rather like it's come out of a helicopter, to be honest. Anyway, I think what I'll do is put this back into its little white plastic container, glue it all together, put some normal connectors onto the wires that come up from the motors so that I can plug them into ESCs. Stick a couple of ESCs on there and that normal FlySky receiver, and then it should all work. Right, so I've disconnected the wires from that little receiver. The battery wires I've extended onto these two connectors because we need one for each ESC, and then the motor wires I've extended them onto these JST connectors so we can plug them into the other side of the ESCs. So I'll take that receiver out and put in one of my normal FlySky receivers. Now I need to reassemble this little plastic pod that the motor sits in. Looks like it's supposed to just clip together. I should probably glue it. Super glue or something. Had to replace the wires that went to the motor because the existing wires I just couldn't get them to take solder. They seem to have corrosion on them. Right, we're using the provided battery pack, which is 6 AA batteries. So that's 369 volts, or at least it is when they're fresh. I've got 2 ESCs and a little FlySky receiver. I've actually pulled the positive battery lead off one of those ESCs, so we haven't got 2 battery feeds going into the receiver. It doesn't usually seem to matter, but I've seen people recommend that you do that if you're using 2 ESCs. So we use the right, well, we'll call it right throttle. So that's our right motor, and then left throttle. So it works. I've no idea what sort of speed we'll get with this. I don't expect it to be a high-speed racing boat. They're only, well, I'm putting, what did I say, 9 volts into these, but they look like they're only about 3 volt motors. So seem to have a bit of trouble still. Actually, it may still need a bit of oil or something to free it up. That's the one that I've just cleaned the rust out of and oiled a lot to get it going. This one's okay anyway. So I'll put it back together. The only thing I'm not particularly happy about is we haven't got a waterproof compartment for all this lot. So I'll probably just chuck it in a plastic bag to give it some form of protection. Just group it all up together in a plastic bag, put a few rubber bands around it and hope for the best. Because that goes up, oh, you can't even see there, that goes up underneath there, but the screws to take that off go up from under here, so you have to take the whole top off if you want to get in and fiddle with that lot. Anyway, I'll put it back together and we'll see if we can get it going. Well, we'll have to try it in the bath. Right, that right motor's not playing. It's working, but not very well. That's interesting. So obviously the extra little bit of effort in the water is making it struggle. Yeah, it's definitely playing up. I should have replaced it, shouldn't I, when I had the chance. Mind you, we're only using, say, 9 volts in there. I could probably put a 3S LiPo in there That might force it along a bit, or burn it out. It's going now, that's just using the right motor. It's using both motors to turn it around. Oh, lost focus. Afraid the camera loses focus. Well, I guess we're going to have to try it out in the lake somewhere, aren't we? It does seem to be a bit underpowered, but then that's the way I like my projects, isn't it?